So where do we start?
Yeah, great. So, thanks for jumping, actually, and I really appreciate your time and effort. So, basically, our team, we're a software development company helping restaurants and food and beverage companies, and we're doing a podcast series. And so far, we've talked to over 30 restaurant chain leaders, and seen already some of the issues in the market: high labor, food costs, customer retentions for some restaurants is lower. And like the reason for this meeting is like we're also like to hear your perspective on different topics, and would love to share a white paper instead with insights about the market challenges, issues. Sounds good.
Yes, sir.
By the way, the podcast series will also be posted on our website. I guess Alexei, my colleague, might probably already share the link to the podcast. If not, I'll share it with you afterwards. We can post it if you'd like. If not, no worries. Anyway, we will share some insights with you about what we have learned and from your perspective. So yeah, from this point, I would be great to jumping more, knowing more about your team, Mason's Famous Lobster. I managed to do some homework and learning about the company. But anyway, I'd love to hear just let's say a brief intro about your team, because you've been running this business for approximately how long? Over 20 years, if I'm correct.
Well, this particular business since 2014. I've been in the restaurant business since 1994.
Oh, man. Longer than even I am, because I'm only 30. So I wasn't even planned when you started doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
May I ask about your company? Because I saw that you have a restaurant chain, and you also have this franchise. So what is this? A franchise, a corporate? Maybe you can give me a brief glimpse about that.
Well, yeah. So, I started with a single store in 2014. In 2016, we started the franchise program. We currently have 34 stores. 4 of them are corporate stores. And that's in the United States. We also have 2 stores in Milan, Italy, with a 100-store development agreement for the European Union.
I see. That's great. And how many in general locations do you have? Because I counted around 40, I guess.
Well, right now with the 2 in Europe, we have 36.
36. I see.
You might have been coming soon. We have quite a few stores in different stages of development. We'll probably open 4 more before the end of this year, then 2 more in the first quarter of next year. I always say that our company would be so much bigger if it wasn't for permitting and regulations. And I mean, it's just some city and states different. Sometimes it can take a year to get to the point to start construction. So that's a little frustrating, but we have a lot of stuff in development as well. But as far as stores that are open, we have 36. And like I said, I'm sitting in the back of a store that we opened last Wednesday. So we're kind of going through our grand opening here outside of Richmond, Virginia.
I see. Well, congrats with opening a new location, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. As I understand, the focus of Mason's Famous Lobster is mostly around lobster and the cuisine around lobster, so everything that's connected about it, correct?
Well, yeah, so lobster rolls is kind of a trend in the United States. We were kind of on the forefront of it. So really, it's a real simple concept. It's got quick service, fast casual, with the primary item being lobster rolls. And really, we have the lobster rolls. We have a crab and shrimp rolls, and we do different soups, and we have a few different menu items as far as like a lobster mac and cheese, lobster grilled cheese. But yeah, I would say lobster in general is about 80% of our sales.
I see. I got it. And as I understand, as you've been running this business for a long time, and you're responsible for the current business growth, further expansion, as the company owner, what are the biggest problems you're facing right now, and what you're responsible for?
I mean, permitting, like I said, but really kind of um, related to our conversation, it's, people in the restaurant business are really focused on operations. And that's kind of, where a lot of us come from. And we're always behind on technology because a lot of times
Hmm.
people say, well, what I have works. Why do I want to spend any more money? And I think they lose focus on, um, like I said, the benefits of technology. We're actually getting ready to switch platforms as far as a loyalty program, just because the one that we have has a lot of functional glitches. And I think that's another issue out there for guys like us who aren't so advanced on technologies. There's so many people with so many different platforms, and they can really try to sell you on them. But it's not until you get into the execution, multi-unit chain where you start to see some of the problems. And we have franchisees, and when you're busy and you have a line at the register and you start dealing with stuff with loyalty QR codes and everything that aren't functioning
Yeah.
right, it can be really frustrating.
I see. I see. So, since we've already touched this topic, you mentioned that, like, being partially behind the technology. So I presume that, like, all the popular stuff like mobile apps and a loyalty program, it's something you would like to upgrade or to have, but it's something that's
Yeah, because what we run into, like we have a point of sale system that we work with that's a multi-unit point of sale system, but
Mhm.
they're behind on a lot of the technology. For one thing, what we need is gift card reconciliation that
Hmm.
they don't have. And I guess you know what I mean, where somebody can buy
Yeah.
a gift card one location and redeem it at another. There has to be a way that the franchisees get made whole. Right now, we're using a third-party vendor, and again, it's something that we've had glitches with. So we're in this situation with our point of sale company that the only way to achieve an advanced loyalty program, a gift card reconciliation program, is to use third party vendors. And if you're not tech savvy, you're kind of lost out there trying to choose the right one.
I see. By third party, do you mean something like a delivery system like Uber Eats or DoorDash, that kind of stuff?
Well, no, we can integrate those with our point of sale. Really, where we've been having some issues is with multi-unit loyalty programs,
I see.
like I said, in the multi-unit gift card reconciliation program, because you want to be able to sell the gift cards. It's big during the holidays, but like I said, to manually have to say to a store in North Carolina, you owe the guy in Virginia $120. That's really difficult to manage. So those are big two parts of our tech stack that we're trying to improve.
I see. I see. I got it. And when it comes to online ordering, like how is that stuff runs in your team? Because I saw there is an application that you have for both iOS and Android.
Yeah, well, we were using a third-party platform called AppFront because they had the gift card reconciliation.
Hmm.
But I was just going to say that we've been having trouble with that in general. So our point of sale system, Toast, has an online ordering system. So we're going to go leave AppFront, go back to Toast for the online ordering. We're currently looking for a third party gift card reconciliation partner right now.
I got it. I got it. And if you mind me asking, so how big is the percentage, let's say, of orders that split between, like, let's say, online and maybe other third-party services, people that come in through your restaurant directly or locations directly?
Well, it can be, it varies from location to location because we have some more or less residential area locations
Hmm.
compared to some tourist locations. Basically, the highest percentage of, say, third-party deliveries in a central business district is about 30%. It can be low as 5 somewhere where it's like a beach tourist area.
I see. I see. I got it. Well, yeah, that's quite different depending on the region. So yeah.
Yeah, so
And
it's an important part of our business, and you have to have it.
But as I understand, you're also using Uber Eats and some other alternatives like DoorDash or not. Maybe I missed this part.
We are using DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub.
that's good.
Yes.
I see. I see. When it comes to the operational side, what's the biggest challenge except for
Staffing. Any business will tell you that. We went through a really tough time during COVID, but it got better. Still, this quick service, especially for just kind of like your general line worker, it's not a career. It's not something that people are looking to stick with forever. You have a lot of turnover. So that's really the hardest part, I would say. And I would say most people in our industry would say that too.
Well, yeah, it's something that I often hear, but anyway, there are some differences. Somebody finds it's the most challenging part is rising costs for the products and rising rent fee, while the stuff isn't the problem for them. I also heard some stories about how people just prefer not to pay hourly, but like a fixed monthly or weekly wage, something like that. That's anyway.
Yeah, salary. Yeah, I mean it's a give and take on that. There's positives and negatives.
Yeah. When it comes to operational stuff and stuff in general, how do you manage consistency across different locations, as you have 36 of them?
Yeah, I mean we have a field service team that visits stores, but again, that's a big challenge too, because like we say, you're only as good as your worst employee. So you really kind of have to manage that. Said the consistency of the operations. So really, it's just ongoing management. Sending our guys out to visit the franchise stores. But you're right. It is. I think it's something that everybody tries to struggle to maintain, and it's very important because it's kind of the point behind a chain is that consistency across the country or across the world. And one thing I've kind of seen by traveling the country myself is that we have stores from Fort Lauderdale to Seattle to New York, and as I travel the country, it's almost like you get in different areas and the people are different, the cultures are different, but really our national chains is kind of what binds us together, because travel 3,000 miles, but you'll see the same restaurant that back home and know, well, I know what I'm going to get when I go in there. So to make the reality, you have to have consistency across the system.
I see. Sense. And did you, just out of curiosity, I also assume that there is also different pricing per region, per state. So something that might be, let's say, West Coast might be more expensive, while somewhere in the mid maybe more affordable compared to, I don't know, San Francisco or Seattle, maybe.
Yeah, there's been a lot of litigation with pricing in the franchise world. Things like with the McDonald's dollar menu or the $5 footlong with Subway. And really, we can swing of $8 to $10 in minimum wage if you're looking at a state like, say, North Carolina compared to Washington State or the city of Seattle. Also, the same with rents and labor costs is directly tied to the price of food in a restaurant. So that's really where we give people guidance, we give people a range, but we don't dictate pricing for that reason, because one guy's margins might be different than another's rent and labor.
Totally makes sense. And also, when I had a chance to speak to some other businesses or companies in this domain, I often hear that retention is a mystery, and these businesses, they don't know when or why customers stop coming. How do you track this retention rates or churn patterns at all?
Well, a return customer is a lot cheaper than an initial customer as far as the acquisition costs. Fortunately, with our point of sale, and it's not with every customer, we can track people by credit card if they're using the same credit card usage online, and delivery orders. They use email when they utilize those systems. So, something we just did at one of our company stores the other day was what we call a lapsed customer, somebody who
Mhm.
hasn't visited in 90 days. Then we target them with an email with a discount,
I see.
try to get them in. But, we utilize that email list a lot. We don't want to flood people with emails because then they'll unsubscribe. So we try to do 2 to 3 emails a month, a lot of times with a promotion to kind of
Mhm.
keep those repeat customers around. Like I said, the guy who's coming in the store and using cash or uses multiple different credit cards is harder to track.
Exactly.
You have a staff that recognizes them, but there are things you can do with technology to make that stuff happen.
I got it. Have you considered, like, using maybe not only email, but I don't know, since you have your own app, reaching out to customers via also notifications, that kind of stuff, or
We do push notifications, and they have to opt into those. They don't seem to be as effective as the emails.
Mhm.
I'm not sure why. I don't know if you see that as an industry thing.
It differs, to be honest. It differs, Daniel. I got it. And in general, how do you see when a customer is at risk of never ordering again if you have such a metric, or what are your
Well,
patterns? Have you noticed that?
like I said, we have that lapsed. We can see that they were a
Mhm.
repeat customer, then they stop coming. And like I said, the only real way to target them is through an email,
I got it.
or I guess you could use push notifications or text as well.
Just for a context, if it's also disclosed, of course, out of 10 customers, how many are coming back or maybe aren't coming? Because once I really had a wild discussion with one of the owners, but they were more focused on another aspect of the food. So he told me only 4 of 10 customers returned to them, and they still haven't figured out why.
Was this a single location or a chain? Or
They had multiple locations, at least across 30 locations, and they had kind of an aggressive expansion plan for Europe as well. But they were American based, so they had this, I know, statistics, and that really sucks, I think.
well, yeah, I mean, usually, for us, it's a mixed bag because of the franchise system and different franchisees, and of course, some are better than others. Um, but really, you can see a lot of times you can see it in Google reviews. And
Mhm.
people generally, with new customers, generally aren't going to go anywhere that's below 4 stars. And we definitely know that as a fact. But I would say for something like us, where it's different locations, but in general, we're about 60-40 lunch to dinner. And people, if they're sorry, I'm going to try to find somewhere that's quiet. People in general are in a hurry. So
Mhm.
if food is slow, then that will definitely affect the return customers. So we've definitely seen that in our system, at least. And that's something that we want to target, is what we call fast friendly service. That's going to bring people
Mhm.
back. If it's slow, unfriendly service, then, and a lot of it's like, I don't know, where you are, if it's similar, but a lot of it's like they'll have a list of places where they like the food. And a lot of times where they're going to eat lunch is how quickly the people can produce the food, because they might say, oh, yeah, well, I like that place, but I only have 30 minutes and they take a while. So I'm going to skip that and go to the place where I know I'll get it quick. So for us, and really in our system, our ticket times are 2 minutes basically or less, meaning that's the execution of the food. So there's no reason why our
Mhm.
food should take a while. And that's really what we've seen. And like I said, it's something that you can kind of track with the Google reviews as well, where you'll see if a location takes a while or the service isn't good, or the people say we walked in and everybody was in the back and we just stood there for a few minutes. And that's the kind of thing that, like I said, when somebody's making a decision for a working lunch, they're going to go to the place where they know is efficient.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But 2 minutes, this is the time required to deliver the order or only to respond to it?
Yes. Um, I'm sorry. Say that again, or just make sure I heard.
By 2 minutes, that's within 2 minutes. The
Oh,
the represent.
that's the time it takes for us to cook all of our food.
Oh,
So yeah, so we have systems set like that where this is really quick service,
wow.
and yeah, so there's no reason why our food should take a while. And if that's happening, then that's an issue that we need to address.
Oh, I see. Because I was thinking like, okay, it might take some, I don't know, like 10 to 15 minutes at least, because it takes time, and definitely you're not serving like, a lobster without nothing, because you have to add something that people would also consume. Let's say so, like fries or whatever, salad maybe.
Well, we put, so our lobster, when we're ready for service, it's already steamed and cooked. So we're just kind of, sometimes we're heating it up and assembling
Mhm.
different items, and just kind of like what you mentioned, French fries. What we do is we fry our fries, hard cook them beforehand. And it's generally a 3.5 minute ticket time. So we'll cook them
Mhm.
2.5 minutes. So then we're ready to execute. It only takes a minute. So we've really kind of set our system up for speed. And like I said, if somebody's falling behind, it's just an execution problem that we need to address.
I see. I see. I got it. Well, I guess that's all on my end. I really appreciate the insights, Daniel, and we'll share all the info and the white paper with the insights with other restaurants within like a week or two at max. You know what? Given what you mentioned, the loyalty program and how it's challenging for you, it also made me think about not even two, but two recent cases we had. We've done some stuff for McDonald's Central America and also for San Martin Bakery. This is a food chain company with over, I guess, 40 or 50 locations. So both McDonald's and San Martin actually they struggled with loyalty programs because they had to improve it. So assuming you green light and you don't have any objections, we can also discuss. We can also schedule another call to dig in deeper into that stuff. Because as I mentioned, we're a software company that's helping restaurants and food and beverage companies. So if you'd like, we can hop on another call. I can invite some guys from my end who've been participating in this project, do some brainstorming, and maybe we'll share some ideas or work something out. If not, it's your call. No
No,
pressure.
we should do that. I'll have to get some more tech savvy individuals from our team on the call, but it's certainly a challenge for us. So we'd definitely be willing to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, yeah. What time will work for you? Same time next week, maybe?
What's today? Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, next week's a much easier week for me.
Okay, okay, great.
Where are you?
Right now, the part of our team is in Poland, in Warsaw, in the capital, actually. Some of us stayed in Georgia country, not the state. And a small percentage of developers are still in Belarus. It's the fact that we never hit that basically our company comes from tech professional from Belarus, and it used to be a popular uh, before 2020, 2022, given the reasons. But yeah, it's something that we never hit that our customers know. But thankfully, we have different entities and locations that allow us to work with customers from the States, from Central America, from Canada. So yeah.
My I have business partners who are Ukrainian, but basically, I I was in the program for years. So all the countries that you've mentioned besides Georgia, I have had a lot of employees from. Um, Certainly Poland and Belarus. Now it seems like, I'm still in the J1 program, but it seems like all the kids are from Kazakhstan now. It's kind of moved to there. But anyway,
Yeah.
getting off on a tangent here, but I was just curious
Yeah.
where you were.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, great. Set up that call and I'll circulate it with my team.
Yeah, great. I'll send you an invite. It would be approximately. I'll schedule it for approximately 1 hour, but let's see how it goes. If more, okay. If less, well, let's work out something.
Okay, sounds great.